In 2004, a group designated the REG became an advisory group within AIM Global. Initially chartered by the U.S. Department of Defense, the REG origins came to address implementation issues related to supply chain adoption of RFID systems. As the years went on, AIM's REG has helped influence RFID enablement with white papers, guides, and standards. Join us as we celebrate 20 years of successes in RFID education, advocacy, community, and standards development.
The origin of the RFID Experts Group really started with a project at the Department of Defense. A guy named Alan Estevez got tasked by one of the secretaries of defense, assistant secretaries of defense, to implement a passive RFID program across the Department of Defense. Defense had been a user of active RFID for years, but we had not ventured into the passive RFID field at all. And he put together a tasker to my office. I was working at the DoD AIT office, and our office got tasked with bringing in a group of people who were known as the RFID experts, okay, but it wasn't under AIM, it was under DoD, and so we called it the DoD Advisory Group. Mr. Harmon recognized the value of this group of people that we had put together to support DoD and took that idea to AIM and said, we need to have an RFID experts group, and we've got the group all put together. And that was sort of the genesis of the RFID experts group.
We've had a ton of successes, notably, one of the things we did early on was the RFID emblem, and that was matriculated into the ISO world and is used as a standard to identify RFID tags in items. Since then, we've modified it and add other symbologies that support identifying that RFID is embedded in a product or being used with the product. One of the other things that has been really successful is our collaboration with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, working with them and members of our community for things like understanding interference between medical devices and RFID. And so we have had some papers and standards published on that, on how to test. One's known as the Healthcare HCI. It's available through AIM. One of the other things that we've done and have kept updated is the RFID data content document. And that's really helpful to end users and even those in the industry to understand the data that can be put into an RFID tag or how it's formatted, because different industries use different types of the data content. For example, the International Air Transport Association, called IATA, is different than the ISO. So again, understanding data constructs and how those things should be used and when they should be used, which then also leads into one of AIM's other key roles is as the registration authority for many of the standards around RFID. So again, our RFID Experts Group has been instrumental in helping, supporting, maintaining the whole industry.
The REG has been a pretty significant part of my professional career. I've been involved with it probably back to 2008 or 2009 timeframe. It's a great organization and committee within AIM. I think it does a lot of very, very important stuff. One of the things that I like about it is, as an academic person, it allows me to experience and see some of the initiatives and the efforts going on within the industry, sometimes before they're made totally public. And so I'm able to bring a lot of that experience and a lot of that exposure to my students, which is excellent because it allows those students to come out of college and join the the various companies they go to work for with this understanding, this knowledge, this background ahead of time. Additionally, I would say that it is important that universities and educators are able to help to influence some of the decisions, public policy decisions, and the REG is a great venue for allowing us to participate in that endeavor.
With 20 years of influence, we are just getting started. If you are interested in learning more or joining our efforts, scan the QR code on the screen to set up a call with AIM. You can scan this QR code to be taken to our RFID.org page, which shares foundational content to get anyone up to speed on RFID.